You're watching the Tesla Life live with your host, Mark Coughlin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tesla Life number 435 on the 29th of October, 2025. How is everyone out there doing? Hope you're doing well. With me, as always, we have Mr. Case Green joining us from undisclosed Wawa location with his daughter. How are you today, sir?
Doing pretty well. As you can see, I haven't yet found the time to put up a proper image like I had before I switched the camera over. Because
Well, appreciates the business.
Multiple superchargers. Maybe that's something you should do. Is that you should just move through the photo archive of your car at different superchargers and use that as your background every week.
But right? I gotta find ones that the video interface will accept.
Yes.
That's the problem.
That could be a problem. Yes.
Yeah, it's very, very, very picky. It's reliable, but picky.
Also with us, as per usual, Mr. Patrick Connor from the West Coast. How are you today, sir?
I'm good. Hello, Tesla Nation. Should be a fun show. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Lots of news, as no surprise there. And
oh, wow. We already got a bunch of people in the chat, too. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Say hello in the chat. Where do you? Oh, there. Who we got? Who came in first? Lee Moon was in first.
Yep.
Lee Moon with the music. Way to go, Lee. And we've got and Highlander joined just after. Derek is in the chat room. Hello, everybody. Wanted to talk a little bit about some updates to the software, and just this week we started to get a further rollout release of version 14.1.4, and it has gone out a little bit larger of a spread at this point. And our buddy Patrick happened to get it. He sent us a note on our X feed just a few days ago as he was happily downloading it. So, Patrick, what have you seen? What do you know?
Yeah, so before we get into that part of it, I'm sure a lot of people who have FSD, like me, listen to the earnings call where Musk said, hey, if you want version 14, just go and set to advanced software and boom, you'll get it. And I'm like, that's not true. So I think that lit a fire on some people at Tesla to say, oh, we have to get a version out to the advanced group. So now that is rolling out, like you said, Mark, it's 14.1.4, and it went to a lot of folks, myself included. And in fact, when you posted that it's going out to a larger group, it was already in the process. I'd said install it, but it took, I don't know, 45 minutes to do the install, as it does sometimes. And that one seemed to be a bigger one. So I've been driving with it for a while. Not as much as some of you road warriors out there who really put on the miles, but enough to get a feel for it. It is much more human-like. It changes lanes smoothly, takes corners smoothly. But part of that includes, if it needs to get into the far lane, what it used to do would be turn into the near lane and then immediately change lanes. Well, now it just turns into the far lane, which is a smoother ride experience and how a lot of people do it. However, here in Oregon, that's illegal. And because it did that, and of course, it's supervised. So I allowed it to do that. So yes, I would be responsible for the ticket. But now if I see it doing that, I'm going to take over and stop it and report it so that they can make the change. So here's what I found, that in Oregon, and I'm sure this is true in a lot of places, turning right into a lane other than the nearest rightmost lane on a multi-lane road constitutes an improperly executed right turn under, and then they have the ordinance number, which is a Class B traffic violation. Ooh. And yada, yada. That's a $265 ticket, although you can get it reduced if you take defensive driving courses. But I don't know if I could force FSD to take a defensive driving course. And I certainly couldn't send the ticket to Tesla. That's just not how it works with supervised, right?
Right.
So there's a change. I hope that they correct.
Without going into like the lowest new mode, because that thing seems not ready for America.
Oh, a sloth mode? You mean?
Yes, sloth mode.
So I tried the different modes, and I usually drive in hurry, but sometimes chilled. It just depends on where I have to be that day and how in a hurry I am to get there or not. And sloth mode was fine. It drove the speed limit, and it didn't go over the speed limit. So even if you have a set, go over by X miles on sloth mode, it does not. Okay. So it ignores that and does just the speed limit. You've always got the accelerator there, the lightning pedal, if you want to go faster. So that still works.
So sloth mode has seen some attention since it was introduced to us.
I don't know what it was originally. This is the first version I've had of it. But some of the super early adopters have been getting.
They said it would not disobey the speed limit, but also that it was just a little too rigid and was annoying people. But it sounds like by the time they got it out to you, that they smoothed it out.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah. And if you happen to press the lightning pedal because you feel it's dogging it a little bit, does that disengage FSD or throw you any alerts?
No, it will put up an alert that says, but it does not disengage FSD. The brake pedal, the steering wheel, those two disengage, as well as the FSD stock. If you have that right stock, you can press it up to disengage, just like you do down to engage it. Yeah. You can press on the accelerator. You do get a warning that says automatic emergency braking is disabled while the accelerator is pressed.
Right, and if you do that for too long, you get the red hands and a warning. Not a strike warning, but like hey, you got this.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I usually only use it like to pass or something, or to get into a spot when there's a merge and I want to go to the bigger opening. I haven't had it down for too long.
I think that they're from Florida, and it just takes a little longer. No offense to the rest of you guys here from Florida. You guys are fine, but you know what I'm talking about. That sudden stop and right-hand turn out of nowhere. You know what I'm talking about.
So you've taken it on a few journeys, and
there's two more features I want to talk about. But go ahead, Mark.
I'm just wondering. Just you haven't done a huge amount, but do you notice a difference, and is there a positive difference just on the number of trips that you've done so far?
Yes. It looks like the lane change decision algorithm is much better. With version 13, it would change lanes for no reason. I did see that happen once on my drives. I'm in the right lane. We're going to make a right turn in 1.2 miles or so. I don't know, a couple kilometers. And it decides to get into the left lane. It drives, tenth of a mile and then comes back. I'm like, okay, that was just silly. There was no reason to do that. And there were no cars in front of me. So, it's not like it was going around something or whatever. So I don't know why it did that. Yeah, it was a raspberry moment. I agree.
You have an opinion.
Deserves a raspberry.
And when the speed changes, it is quick to go to the new speed enough that you feel either the acceleration or deceleration a little too harsh, and I'm sure that will smooth out when it gets to 4.2 and others, because that's pretty typical in the early versions. And that's when you're set up for advanced, you're going to see things like that. And if you don't want to see those things, then don't select advanced software.
So I also got a bunch of updates. None of them claim to have touched FSD, but I found some more of the random changes into the opposite lane of where you need to be with a change or exit coming up. Where I was like, well, let's just see what happens here, because there's a line of cars, and I don't want to push myself back into here, and then. It's like, yeah, I fit here. Or worse, like, I fit there too, but this guy's going really slow. I'm going to go cut to the front of the line and jump over and make a turn. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Physically, it was
driving like a jerk.
It didn't impede anybody, but it did kind of look like I was critiquing the guy's driving.
That's an interesting note from Lee. He said that pressing the accelerator will automatically bump up the profile.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Similar to on Legacy, if you twist the stock, you can use, instead of adjusting your following distance, it changes your. Oh man, there's a calling for a birthday call. It'll change your speed profile instead of your distance, like it used to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, that leads right into one of the two features I wanted to talk about. The right scroll wheel used to be up and down for speed, for setting your max speed, and left and right for your mode. Well, now left, right, and up, down both do the same thing, and that's change your driving profile mode. You cannot set the maximum speed. And I saw that as one of the features in the release notes. I thought I'm going to hate that, but so far it's worked great, because the modes, we talked about how Sloth does the speed limit and not over, and the standard and others go with whatever offset you've set in there. And so it's worked fine for me, that and using the accelerator in the few moments where it's not working. So I haven't. It's funny. I expected that this is going to be a big problem for me. I'm not going to like it. I'm going to be tweeting at Musk to get this fixed. And just like, a lot of people asked for the stock to come back, and it did. A lot of people asked for waypoints, and we got them. I was assuming that when 14 rolls out, there's going to be the same kind of outcry that we want to be able to set our max speed. And so far, so good. There's one spot near my house where there's a school zone that's 25, but only when the light is flashing. And otherwise, it's 35. I haven't driven through during school time yet, because the thing that really bothers me is it'll go down to 25. Then there's the in-school zone sign, but it stays at 25 because there's not a 35-mile speed limit for like the next mile. So for the mile past that school, it's still driving at 25.
Wait. So yours has been respecting those lately?
Oh yeah. Well, I think it sees the school sign, and well, yeah, actually, it has been slowing down even during non-school times. This time it didn't. It stayed at 35, but it wasn't school time. So
what mine
we'll see how it
doing
goes.
is it continues to ignore them. But if everybody else is going slow through the school zone, it's like, maybe I'm going too fast for conditions, and it slows down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to take more note of that, because that's absolutely something they're going to have to fix. Otherwise, that'll be another ticket. Going 10 miles and over in a school zone.
More.
Yeah.
In your school zones, do you typically, is there enforcement, like camera enforcement in your school zones?
Not camera, but there are often police there monitoring.
Okay, we've had an uptick in municipal school zones that they're installing cameras all through them. So if you're more than 3 kilometers over the limit, automatically picture taken, ticket sent in the mail. So that would be frustrating if you were trying to calibrate or understand the FSD system before it's dialed in completely. But I understand what you're saying, Patrick, that if it knocks you down to 25 and then there's not another sign for a mile, it should be following to 25, right? Like there's really no reason for it not to do that.
Because here we don't have a
in school zone, right?
So we have a sign that says in school zone. We don't usually have a sign that also says that the speed limit went back to what it was.
Right. That's the part
humans understand that part. Yeah.
And here we actually have those updated speed signs. We have a 25 or a 30 kilometer zone, and then as soon as you get outside of the zone, there is a sign immediately that says 30 kilometers ends. So you know where the start and where the end is.
But it's similar to ours. It doesn't tell you the old speed, right? It just says this new speed.
It says 30 kilometer ends. So if you're an AI, you now have to remember context of what it was before, instead of if it just stated the new limit starting here, then it would be easier for AI. But these are things AI is going to have to figure out. If humans can figure it out, so can they.
But that could easily be 5 miles or more, depending on how many schools are in a row, and it could be different speed limits if the state or local authority has, like, say, the high school kids have a higher speed limit in their zone than the elementary kids.
Or one's city and one's county, and they're near the line between those two.
Yeah, so you could have more than just 5 schools in a row.
Right.
All right
Yes.
on the highway, because if it's at a corner, you usually a couple feet. But wow.
And that is our lowest is 30 kilometers an hour, which probably works out to be about 18 miles an hour conversion. But
that's pretty low. Yeah.
It feels like you're on the sidewalk walking. That's really what it feels like.
Ours will typically do 15, 20, 25, 35. I think I saw 45 once, but that was like one of those cases where it grazed the corner and it was like 5 feet, but they had to, it counted, so they had to put a sign on it. Yeah.
So you actually do have, in some cases, 15 miles an hour.
Yeah, I've seen 15.
A lot of parking lots have low posted mileage like that. Or speeds
go on some
like
of the military
too.
bases at 7.5 miles an hour. Where did I see that one at? How am I supposed to pull this off? I bet you the computer can. That was back in the day. I hadn't just learned to drive, but also before I learned to drive, because military family. Where my first car would idle, cold idle at 15 and 20 miles an hour, depending on which season we're talking. And then when it was hot idle, because it was automatic gas car, it would idle at least 15, 16 miles an hour if you just let it roll. So it's like you're riding the brakes to catch that.
One more feature I want to talk about is when you put in a destination. Now there's a pull down that you have that says when you get to that destination, what do you want it to do? You can have it pull over to the curb, or you can have it park in a parking spot. And that's a nice feature, because before it would just take you into the parking lot and then just kind of shut off. And of course, then you could select a parking spot and turn on the auto park mode. But now if you've selected park, it automatically does that.
Yeah. I found that mine will try to make up a parking spot. Sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's not.
Right. Yeah. The version 13, it would do that. It would sometimes pull in, but it's not using the full auto park. So it would just straddle 2 parking spots and just say, "You're here." Yeah. So the new one is much better about that.
And what's your level of confidence, Patrick, if you're pulling into a parking lot and you have it set on automatically park? Would you say that it does a 50-50 job? Does it do a 75-25 in the good? What do you feel from your experience?
And a sub question to that: does it obey restricted spots?
Oh, I have not had it try to pull into an ADA spot, but I don't know if that's just because there wasn't a one in its easy access. But so I've had it do this 3 or 4 times, and they've all been fine. So the only issue I have with it is that when you're using the park mode, it shows you what spot it's pulling into, where if you at the destination, it just picks a spot and goes into it. And it's not showing you okay, is it pulling forward to back up? I don't know what it's doing, because the UI is slightly different. So I think if they improve that UI to look more like the UI they already have for the, when you select park, then I think that would be helpful to give the drivers that feedback.
Yeah. You also
do both back in and nose in to spots. So I'm not sure what it does. Yeah, either. But yeah.
You also brought up a good option for a setting is if the driver or if the vehicle is, well, no, it has to be the driver, but if the setting would be best for the car, or if not the profile, if it should try ADA spots or if it should avoid them. Basically, if it's got a placard on the license plate, or if you have to hang one, and then if they do it per profile, then you can say that's me. Right. But then they have to do it per car. So
that should be a profile setting. Yeah, because if you have an ADA placard, those spots are for you, and there's
they do give you the mobile one. So yeah, if they put it on your cloud profile, then it's not going to do it for your kids, but it will do it for you if it's you. And then if you're in a loaner or multiple cars in the family, it'll remember you're probably going to have it with you.
Right.
Or it's going to assume you have it with you because
Right.
it's flagged. Yeah.
And then if you don't, you'll have to, repark.
And you'll have to pay the fine again. So that's...
I wonder if it's a lesser fine. Oh, officer, I forgot my tag. I'm sorry. And then
yeah.
Here's a $20 for getting your tag fee instead of a $250 parking in a spot.
Yeah, I'm sure if you actually went to court for that ticket and you said, here's my placard, I really do have one, I just didn't have it with me that time, any judge with empathy is going to at least cut the fine in half, if not waive it completely.
Well, I can see, like you said, cutting it because, like, hey, remember it next time, not, like,
right.
Boys will be boys.
Right. Unless this is the 12th time you're in there doing that, and they're going to be like, stop.
Hey, didn't I do the same case with you last week? Yeah,
exactly.
Not a good sign. Yeah.
Right.
Here's $100. Go get your second placard. Keep it in the second car.
I want to make some joke about you really are ADA if you can't remember. No, that's mean. I'm not going to make that.
So it's something that I've seen some other YouTube personalities talking about 14.1.4, and many of them are saying that not the ones that are complete hype guys. Like, these are people that are using it and dealing with it, whatever area the country they're in, and they seem to be indicating that 14 is definitely a step in the right direction. Mm-hmm. There is some definite rough edges still. It's not going to be the end all of this. There's still going to be extra work required to smooth out some of these edges. But they are saying that they feel that it's an improvement over 13. And Patrick, would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, absolutely. Going from the ones before 12 were definitely problems. Like, you could, if you weren't supervising, you could die. And now we're getting to, this accelerates a little hard in this spot. So the difference is huge. It is definitely a step in the right direction. I think this is better than 13 was. And once we get to 14.2, which is the one going to people who aren't selecting, advanced options, then that's going to be even better. On the conference call, they were talking about 14.4 is when they're going to have, what was it called? Where it does reasoning to find how to manage a parking lot instead of just the simple algorithms they have today. Yeah. So it's going to have improved parking lot maneuverability with 14.4. So I think this could be the version where it really does become unsupervised at some point. 14. Whatever 5 or 8 or whatever, it could be the one, but that doesn't necessarily mean it will be.
And you still might die.
It's possible. It's certainly possible.
Yeah, it's just much less likely to try and jump off an overpass, like when mine was new to the program.
Exactly.
Yeah, but how old was that? What version was that?
Those were like the first 3 or 4 versions of outside of Elon's special friends. So for anyone new to us, my vehicle isn't running 14. anything. It's legacy, so it's running latest version of 12. And they say they haven't touched it all year, but it's had behavioral changes. So I'm wondering if when they update the core OS, because I get that along with everybody else, as they update the core OS, I'm wondering if like whatever hints they feed into FSD are changing, or if they're doing like because changes feel bigger than like the little shadow updates and the little parameter tweaks that they can do outside of an update. But I'm not complaining. I mean, anytime it gets better, it's nice.
Well, we will certainly keep our eye on this, and Patrick will keep us informed as he continues to live with this and see where it takes him. But
he lives with it. Oh, the struggle, man.
First world problem.
The struggle is real, but we will see as time goes along. And like I said, as we add more and more numbers to the 14 dot, it should become more and more smooth. So this next story we want to talk a little bit about was interesting because it really gleaned an actual number of the CyberTrucks made in the world to this point.
Yeah.
And this story was about an actual recall that was sent out, and within the recall there was an indication that 63,619 Cybertrucks were affected. So this looks like this could be the entire fleet that was out there at the time of the recall. The recall is, of course, for overly bright parking lights. And I have a feeling that this recall will be handled like a lot of the other software recalls, is they'll just modify some code and reduce the intensity of those lights in certain situations or all situations. Yep. But what was interesting was that they actually had the number in there, and since it is a light issue, all the vehicles have the lights, so it kind of makes sense that the 63,000 number would be close to being completely accurate, if not just a few off here and there. But
or at least everything built before they issued the recall.
Right. So that's the number of 63,000 is obviously less than what Tesla would like. We have known that for some time. But I just wanted to maybe get your comment, guys, on how far below is 63,000? What do you think? Like should the number be over 100 grand at this point? If it, like, obviously Tesla's not selling as many Cybertrucks as they wanted to. Like that's just obvious. But I'm wondering if it's only half as much as what they wanted, if it's only a quarter of what they expected. Obviously, Tesla's not going to comment on something like that, but it is interesting to see that 63 is the number at this point.
Well, they've also got all of the units that shipped to Canada and Mexico that might not be subject to this, so we can take them out of the total, and anything that shipped with a compliant setting. So, I mean, it's better than because it'll still be a Tesla style recall most likely, where you're just going to be an over-the-air software update, manufacturer recall, versus like Patrick's Leaf, bring it into the dealer software update recall, or just a handful of Model 3s and Model Ys that we recently talked about on Sunday, where there is an issue with the contactors, where you have to bring it in because you can't replace that part over the air, and it's a spring, so you can't really make it adjust its parameters and just deal with it, because spring's gonna spring. But it was a very a handful of cars, and that's atypical for a Tesla recall, which is nice. So 63, you would want to see the number be higher if it's anything like all the trucks. I see what you're saying there, and I agree, but I'm just curious how many were excluded and how close that is to an entire fleet situation once we cut out Mexico, cut out Canada.
Yeah, I think for Mexico and Canada, you could probably knock 10% of that number off, roughly. So it's not a huge difference.
Not huge, but it does matter.
It's somewhat, that would be another 6,000 or 6,300. So it's something, but
even that's lower than what they were pushing us.
This is obviously a disappointment for Tesla. At Battery Day in 2020, Musk said that Tesla would produce 250 to 300,000 Cybertrucks annually once production had ramped up. So, how long has it been out now, the Cybertruck?
Going on 3 years now.
Yeah. So, obviously, they had some early ramp up that they had to get through.
3 years next month, right?
But yeah, but it should be doing 200,000 annually, and it's not. And we talked about on one of our express shows how the truck has limitations. It doesn't meet everything that it was promised and when it was revealed, and that's part of it. And the whole industry, trucks are not getting huge acceptance. Electric EV trucks are not taking off in general yet. And
Yeah.
that will change, but it's going to take a few more iterations of battery technology. By 2030, I'm sure it'll be no problem. But today, it still can't tow as far as a lot of people would like. Even if they're not doing it on the daily, they still want that spec for pulling a 5-ton whatever and being able to get there with 200 plus miles of range, even when pulling a big load.
Yeah, if it looked different, I don't want to say if it looked like other trucks, because that we've proven that won't do the trick, because other people have done new trucks that look like other trucks. It doesn't break into the market. You can look at Rivian. But if it wasn't, just didn't make that visual reaction that so many folks have, and if it didn't become maligned through an individual's actions, it'd probably do better. Or if it was closer to what they promised initially, then I would think that folks could look past how it looks and try it. Like for us, it does what we want. So when we can line the finances up, we're going to go ahead and do it. But other people, vanity is a part of it.
I don't think the looks are holding it back at all. If you compare it to what the rest of the industry is. I mean, some people. Yeah. I mean, I'd love it.
I like it.
I think, as LJ has said in the comments, and we've talked about this previously, I think we're probably about $20,000 too high is what's going on. If you were able to miraculously bring that truck down 20K, I think you would have a whole bunch of new sales. And you'd have people looking by the unique look, because of course a lot of people want unique anyway. So so having that factor that still to this day, driving on a highway saying, "Oh, there's CyberTruck," because it's so stick out. Like it's like that is different looking. I
saw one coming up on the left, and autopilot FSD decided that the car in front of us was going too slow, and I'm like, you see that steel monster, just barreling down at us. What are you gonna do? Because it turned the signal on, and it jumped in front of the CyberTruck, and I'm like,
no.
I'm like, you're lucky you're faster than a Cyber Beast, because if that was a Cyber Beast and he was like feeling some kind of way, that would have been messy. But
Tesla on Tesla violence. Let's not go
there.
there.
You go. Yeah.
It's only barely faster than a Cyber Beast. That was a bold move, unless they were both on FSD and they can talk.
We're not there yet.
Not yet.
Not officially.
Well, we'll keep our eye on that too as time goes along. But next story, speaking of time, Fremont Factory celebrated another milestone, and this one was a time milestone. It's now been 15 years since Tesla took over that plant to produce the Model S and X in that factory. That was their first forte, and it's
all my Teslas came from there.
It is certainly the beginning story of Tesla, near the beginning, because I remember them getting that factory in Fremont for a song and a dance, basically, because Flash Toyota was dumping the property. They didn't want anything to do with it any longer. And they got it at a wholesale price. And I remember as the plant was taken over, Tesla set up a couple lines in there for the S/X, and the rest of the plant was empty. Like there were photos of complete emptiness outside of those two lines, and over time, obviously they filled them up, and now they're beyond capacity when it comes to floor space. But at the beginning, that factory was a whole lot of emptiness on the inside because they were only producing 2 vehicles, and they were not producing, hundreds of thousands of them in the early days.
Yeah, and the way they obtained the mega press was pretty cool. Like, GM, like, we want that back, and they're like, you can come get it. How's 10% on the dollar sound to you?
Mark, you mentioned that Tesla got it for a song and a dance. Toyota actually made a lot of money on that deal as well, because it was mostly Tesla bought it with stock, and Toyota held that stock, and I think it doubled or tripled and then Toyota sold it. The funny thing is that if they would have held it longer, it would have 15x'd, but they didn't.
Not long,
So,
not long more either. Just a little bit longer.
Yes. Yeah. I think all 3 of my Teslas have come from the Fremont factory. I'm here in Oregon, so on the West Coast, they're just going to come up by 5. And the funny thing is, my first road trip in the X that I got in 2016 was included going to the Fremont factory and taking the factory tour.
Nice.
Yeah, so I could not take delivery in California unless I was willing to pay 9% California sales tax. I'm like, I'm not a California resident. Can't I just come pick it up at the factory? And they're like, oh, yeah, you can, but the state doesn't care if you live here or not. You still have to pay it. I'm like, that's BS.
They still need a tourist pickup, vehicle pickup, just like Germany has for their industry.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what California is thinking. They're discouraging tourism.
Yeah, what would solve that pretty quick is if they made them. Well, it wouldn't hurt California so much, but like for 2 states named South and a couple others around the nation, if they made them have to actually be legal for sale before they could collect on it, they would change their tune pretty quick.
Yeah, but I don't know, Mark. Do you know where yours must have come from Fremont as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
yes.
it was the only one open at the time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And everything was out of Fremont in the early days of the Model 3. That was it. So I was lucky enough to tour that factory as well. So in fact, I remember I was on a business trip. I had gone down and stopped in San Jose area, and went to the it's one of the main stores on something row. It's like downtown San Jose, and it was a mall, like an outdoor mall. That Tesla had a store on the ground level. Went in to talk to them about, because the 3 had been released in the United States, and we were trying to figure out when it was going to be released in Canada. And of course, if you've ever talked to a salesperson inside a store, you realize that they have no clue as to what's going on, especially in those days. There was little to no communication from the top down, and it was probably on purpose, but it was interesting to find out that on that trip, we just found out by coincidence that probably it was through X that the deliveries to Canada had started. And luckily, they had a couple of 3s right in that showroom, and I was able to actually sit in the vehicle for the first time. Obviously, I saw it being unveiled on television, but being able to be into the vehicle was really cool. And then on my way back, we got the delivery date, which was later that month by the end of May. So that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, because if you were getting a Tesla today in Canada, it could come from anywhere in the world. You guys have gotten them from all the factories.
That's right. That's right. Actually, I was just at the local Tesla dealership here, and I just took a gander at a few of the VIN codes, and sure enough, there's a B on those Model Ys. So they're in from Berlin. So
nice.
I think Canada is the first country to get vehicles in from every gigafactory. We've had Shanghai, and we've had obviously Fremont, we've had Texas, and we've had now Berlin.
And you've had the test drives, vehicle cold weather testing from iWest.
That's right.
Yep. Oh yeah, the semi's up there.
Yep, that went through northern BC as it went for some testing. So, well, that's hopefully more anniversaries to come for Fremont Factory and its sprung structures. It'll be interesting to see as time goes along what happens to that factory and how it changes. Another bit of news that came out just this week was that San Jose, again, clicking with San Jose, California, there's a airport there called the Mineta, M-I-N-E-T-A, and that airport has become the first airport to end up on the RoboTaxi app. So there are now the ability, the app's been updated, and there's now a screen for airport pickup. So this is brand new, and that San Jose Airport is the only one that's been added to the app at this time. Obviously, the others are going to be added at some point, but they're testing out the San Jose Airport to start. So again, RoboTaxi expanding. Actually, I saw just today that there's been a 5th add-on for the Austin area. So its footprint has increased again, and this is another indicator that we're starting to move into a new territory when it comes to airports, which is going to be huge. Nothing like getting off your plane or sitting in the luggage rack line and just queuing up a vehicle to come pick you up. And that's certainly a big thing that happens in airports, tens of thousands of times, per hour. So not going to be surprised that that's going to be a feature well used. And
that's bigger than it sounds if you're not familiar with airport operations. You've got you got to have a permit to drop and pick up for rideshare, essentially, if you want to do it as rideshare. More if you're going to do it as a taxi or a limo. And on top of that, you have to then, once you get the permit to actually do it, you then have to deal with the navigation of how it's structured. It's not always easy, depending on the airport and if there's any construction going on. And then if the taxi lobby was able to kind of carve out that, hey, you guys get to wait out in a field over there, and we get to be right up under the portico. So it's bigger than it sounds, and it doesn't. It's probably not a bad thing that it's starting at a smaller traffic airport, because then they can get their stuff together and be ready.
Right. I was just looking at this in the app. They've added some features where you can tell them what airline you're flying on, so they know what terminal to go to and which part of the terminal, based on whether it was Southwest or Alaskan or Hawaii Air or whatever. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And that's just the technical part. But then there's all the logistics that you were talking about, which sound even more complicated.
Oh, they are. Yeah, I did Uber for a while as in a couple cities where they both gained and lost their airport access. Oh, and watching them both in the as a driver and in the app, and then being local, watching it politically has been it was eye opening. I was like, there's a lot of stuff that goes into this.
Yeah. There's a lot of moving parts, and hence why they make you register too, because they're just not wanting all chaos at an airport pickup drop-off zone, which it would be if there were no rules or regulations. So having the registration makes a lot of sense. That they're trying to keep things as streamlined as possible without getting into that chaos.
Yeah, and on top of that, you've got in a post 9/11 world, we may not have to take our shoes off for much longer, but there is still the concern about random vehicles showing up where they don't belong, as seen. Was it a year ago with the Vegas disturbed individual and the CyberTruck that he rented.
Right.
Yeah, Turod.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Next, want to talk a little bit about Mr. Supercharger. I'm sure knows this story, and what automaker, Casey, has been recently granted access to superchargers?
That's a good question.
Starts with the T, ends with an A, but it's not Tesla.
Oh, it's the other T. The guys who used to occupy that factory, Toyota got it.
Exactly.
I, for some reason, thought they already had it. Took them long enough.
Yep. So now they've been given access, and it was funny on our X feed. Posted that news earlier in the week, and a gentleman replied back, "What? All two of them?" So
that was my joke. I was totally going to say that. Yes, yeah.
So does this also include Lexus, or is it like all the others where there are multiple brands and it's like all for their own?
the article, which is linked below, didn't state any other accompanying brands. I was also expecting to see maybe Subaru linked into it because, of course, Subaru and Toyota collaborated on the B4 to bring it to market, but neither of them is mentioned in the article. So it's strictly for that one vehicle. And the other thing is they don't hit anything that's like the hybrid or even the plug-in hybrids isn't mentioned, obviously, because it couldn't take that amount of juice from a supercharger.
Yeah, the plugins are all
like that, or the Prius is not part of this deal either. It's strictly the B4 vehicles.
Yeah, I'd like to juice up my 3 kilowatt-hour battery pack real quick. Oh, he's done. It's a fast charge.
Yeah, this is only for 2023 to 2025 BZ4X owners, and they will receive a free NACS adapter from Toyota starting in November.
So they're doing it right. They're giving them a free. Hopefully, it's the full spec one and not like the little halfsy one that we saw with our friends in South Korea. Another question now. I'm thinking Mitsubishi with the Outlander. It started as Chatamo, but they did move it to CCS, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't recall.
I believe
if they wanted to keep selling them, I'm sure they would have to. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then it should be on NACS as well because they joined.
Yeah, and Mitsubishi doesn't have
yet.
They don't have another electric vehicle, so
not here.
It must be designed for that.
That or they got something secret coming out in 2026. We'll see.
Speaking of 2026, this announcement from Toyota also coincides with the 2026 B4 car, and it comes with a native NACS plug. So that's another vehicle that is going to have the NACS plug installed inside of it when it comes to showrooms. So that's another one off the list.
Yeah. They better hurry. 2026 model year cars are starting to come out now. So
depending on who you are, they could have been out from like, what is it, May? Not the day anybody released.
Depends on the automaker. Sometimes they're half a year early. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And we saw Toyota release the BZ4X and then said, "Oh, we're having a problem with the lug nuts. You'll have to wait another 4 months or whatever." That was ridiculous.
The wheels might come off. Yeah.
So they could end up launching this their 2026 model in July if they really want to.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that with their high volume vehicles, but I don't know. I've been underwhelmed with Toyota's performance in the EV space.
Yeah,
they would everybody. Yeah,
they would occasionally do some early launches, but it's more of a big three legacy thing to put your vehicles out silly early. On the calendar, like, hey, it's June. Welcome to 2023. Wait, what? And I think the earliest I've seen is May, and then we saw Tesla do it early 1 year. Basically, they got their operating certificate from the EPA, and then they here you go. This is it. They're all changed now. Whereas prior to that, they hadn't done any early. It was like calendar year, and that was a nice little surprise.
Well, Tesla does rolling changes. They don't really do calendar years per se.
Right, but that was the first year they did held anything back for the calendar year. They do sometimes do that now, but it was kind of it was a change with them. They still don't just do it the way everybody else does it though. So that's good to see.
Right.
Well, I think that's about all the news fit the print at this point. Let's move into some shout outs. Casey, what do you got for us?
Well, catch us on the Tesla Life Express on Fridays and Mondays at the least, if not more. Ring the bell there on YouTube so you can find it. And then on Sundays, you can catch us at youtube.com/Casey Green or x.com/gcustom. And we'll have a Let's Chat with Casey and Friends, where we'll talk about stuff like that Model 3 and Y recall for the contactors, or the other recall we had on, I want to say it was Ford's. I've slept a couple times since then, and and other stuff that's just related to this. We'll have a blast, and I hope to see you there.
Very good, very good. And of course, if you haven't already, As RC Robinson has done, press that thumbs up, vote us up, give that subscribe a press. Doesn't cost you anything, helps us out immensely. And of course, through the week, you can also follow us on news stories in between shows on our X feed at The Tesla Life. Patrick, what do you got for us?
I've got a couple new articles on carswithcords.net. Today's offering was a discussion about whether or not Tesla should invest in AI, XAI. Because as an investor, I have my shares and I get to vote them. And I really wasn't sure which way I wanted to vote that. And there's pros and cons each way. Obviously, with the Grok integration, they can already work together. They're both under the Muskoverse, so there's no thing stopping them there. But is that what Tesla should be doing with their funds? So anyway, I go through that, and I'm a engineer numbers guy, and I came to a conclusion that I did not expect. And the funny thing is, writing this stuff really helps me think through it, and gets to deeper levels than I would just by, oh, I feel this way, boom, done. So anyway, check that out, carswithcords.net, if you're interested. I also did one this week about the value that nature has to us as a species. And of course, you can't put a number on it, but so much of our decisions are made by people who are only looking at things through a financial greedy lens, that I wanted to say these actually have cash value and put a number on it. So how many trillions of dollars of service does nature provide us, and why we shouldn't screw it up because we're dependent on that stuff, and try to label it in a way that makes it understandable to people who have the wrong view of the world, an insane view of its for-profit exploit, drill baby drill until we're all dead. No, that is not how you should do things. So anyway, that's what I've got to offer up there this week as I write about my future free from fossil fuels. Thanks.
So why would I want to just collect and harvest free sunshine when I could spend $200 a barrel for oil and then have to refine it, use some electricity, and then burn it, and then can't breathe anymore?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I do on your process there. You have to then crunch through your numbers, write them down, and then you have to step through your process logically in such a way that you might not do it in the case of vibes or feels, because you're trying to communicate it to another individual. So
to a bean counter, yes. Yeah,
it kind of informs whether you were thinking about it the way you thought you were thinking about it, and then before you write your conclusion, you step back one more time and you're like, maybe I actually feel this way about it, and then there's your piece. And
exactly,
right. It's different.
Lots of things. It does help to write things down. Still, even though we're in a electronic world, even writing things down, it's just that muscle memory to your brain connecting, and I should see things a lot more clearly, I find. So with that said, I think we will wrap it. We thank everyone for joining us today. If you haven't done so, give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you next week and find out what's happening in the Tesla life.
Stay positive. Test negative.
It says the music is playing. I don't hear it.
I don't hear it.
Thank you, Lee Moon.
Thanks anyway, Lee Moon. Appreciate it.